This last week has been crazy for the hip-hop game. In one hand, we got Kendrick selling out stadiums over in Europe, in countries motherfuckers don't even speak English. And on the other, we got Travis Scott dropping their long-anticipated sequel album for his group Jack Boys, and Eclipse dropping their first album in 15 years, which might be in the top 5 albums of this decade. The rollout for this album was genius and has to be studied by any artist trying to make it in the game. One of the biggest controversies the brothers stirred up was throwing shots at Travis Scott. This was quite surprising at first, as they were both label mates for years and Push actually liked Travis Scott's music, so why make him turn the other way and end their relationship? In this video we'll go through the timeline of their beef and see who was crowned champion at the end, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. In 2012, Travis got signed at Kanye's Good Music label alongside Pusha T. The two had a joint together called Block Up back in 2013, and although they were not known to be homies, there didn't seem to be any issues between them. Fast forward in 2016, Travis dropped the Birds in the Trap album, which Pusha heavily praised and even wanted Travis to executive produce his album. With this display of respect, it's hard to see why they would start going back and forth, but the rap game is no stranger to cutting the tightest of friendships. This whole relationship started to go sideways back in 2023, when the brothers were recording the Let God Sort 'Em Out album in Paris at the Louis Vuitton headquarters. Pharrell became the brand's creative director that year, and one of the incentives for him to stay in Paris was to have a studio in the company's headquarters. This is where he and the brothers recorded the album, and one day Travis Scott got the drop on their location and went to pay them a visit. This was around the time that he was releasing Utopia, and part of the rollout for the album consisted of him and his bodyguards going to studios around the world and playing the album for artists that he knew. Of course, people would spot him and take pictures, which would generate hype online. He paid Pharrell and the brothers a visit, which didn't sit well with Push initially. Although it seemed as a harmless move, there was one particular verse he didn't play in that listening session. Meltdown is one of the biggest hits of the album and has a Drake feature, which he conveniently skipped during the listening session. He wasn't throwing any shots at Push, but rather to Pharrell. As I explained on my clipse story video, Pharrell came up with these guys and are basically brothers. So if someone throws shots at anybody, they all clap back.
I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a fuck about all of that heritage shit. Since we not around, the members done hung up the Louis. They not even wearing that shit.
Drake raps about melting Pharrell's jewelry, which he bought at an auction. These pieces are worth $3 million, which Pharrell ended up donating. He bought them just to provoke Pusha and even used it in the video for Jumbotron shit. Some fans claim that the verse was turned in right before submitting the final album, as Drake verse is not on the Utopia vinyls. Still, if you want to show your work to someone you respect and want to hear their feedback, you don't go behind their back if you have an opportunity to sell more records. This is also not the first time he does something like this. In Sicko Mode, Drake throws shots at Kanye, and Travis decided to release it anyways despite Kanye being the one to give him the opportunity to be where he is now. He then pulled the same move when he was at Rolling Loud with Metro and Future and asked them to play Like That, the song in which Kendrick famously threw shots at Drake and started the whole beef in 2024.
Hey, before y'all get out of here, bro, just play that. Oh, man.
It is clear this guy has no loyalty or respect for anybody, even the ones that helped him out the most. We know Kanye and Drake are in the talk to start a full-on beef, but someone like Pusha T can handle it, and Travis is finally getting called out. After 15 years, the brothers dropped their first single, Ace Trumpets, followed by the nasty So Be It. At the end of the song, there is a drumless portion in which Pusha is clearly throwing shots at Travis.
You cried in front of me, you died in front of me. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Her Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping, she ain't need you to eat. The net gon' call it the way that they see it, but I got the video, I can share an AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it.
Even though this verse is pretty short, there is a lot to unpack. The standout is the Pusha's holding a video of Travis that could change the way that we see him. Although we really don't know what this is about, we can assume that it is about Kylie Jenner, as he indirectly mentions her. She used to be with Travis Scott and is his baby mama, and has reached the billionaire status selling cosmetics, so the person he describes as having a pulp and lip gloss is probably her. I really don't see nothing wrong about having a video of a guy breaking down over a breakup. I mean, that is pretty common, and someone as ruthless as Pusha T is more likely to make a threat if he has some evidence that can leave a guaranteed dent in somebody's career, the way he did with Drake by revealing he was hiding a child. He then says that the internet's gonna call it the way that they see it, meaning that people are always gonna side with the person that they like the most. He knows Travis has a huge fan base that will support him, but he then says that he has a video that could change that perspective. He says that he will AE the video, which makes reference to an incident between Travis and the executive Alexander Edwards. They were at an event and the host was presenting the guests as they saw them. He mentioned AE, Travis Scott, and Tyga in the same sentence, which actually pissed Travis off as him and Tyga are both exes of Kylie Jenner. He stormed on stage and looked to confront the host, and then AE stepped in and then a brawl broke out. The video spread like crazy online, with the main narrative being that Travis was jealous and wanted to fight Tyga. Anyways, this incident didn't have many repercussions after a few days, but it still spread like crazy, the same way Pusha's video of Travis may spread if it was released. The whole verse doesn't seem to be a full-on diss, but feels more like a warning shot. I think he's setting up the trap for Travis to clap back at him and then respond with some crazy diss like the way he did Drake. A month later, the whole album was dropped, and 2 days later, Travis dropped the Jack Boys 2 album, in which he responded to the track Champagne and Vacay.
Yeah, man, I swear these old niggas kill me. Know my wires feel me. They just want the real me. Yeah, blue Bugatti, I'm dodging TMZ. Made 100 off pushing T's. Now my phone on D&D.
I gotta give it to Travis, the song is fire, and the beat slaps pretty hard, but to be honest, I felt that this is whack as hell. He says nothing of substance, and the only shot of push he really takes is to call him old. Anyway, the song will go crazy in a club or in a concert, but it isn't strong enough from a battle perspective. Although it is clearly evident he has a lower hand, he might just have saved himself from getting the Drake treatment if he had slightly ruffled some of Pusha T's feathers. I believe he dropped his album right after the clips on purpose. Usually album drops are on Friday at midnight, but this one dropped on a Sunday. He clearly wanted to compete with clips on who would get the most sales. It is reasonable to think that Travis will win in this metric, but the clips have nothing to be ashamed of. They have less than 5 million monthly listeners on Spotify, while Jack Boys has double that, and Travis himself has over 60 million. However, Clipse is currently at number 1 after a week of release and is on track to sell 113k first week. In today's music climate, that's borderline impossible for an artist that has under 10 million monthly listeners.
If they break 100,
I don't see them going over 100.
okay. I was about to say if they break 100, nigga, they gods.
Really?
For real? 100 for the clips? 100? I think they're gonna do anywhere between 40 and 70.
However, the brothers have managed to surprise the world and even Travis himself by sitting above him on the raps and even on some charts. Apple Music is currently showing that the clips is right above Jack Boys, which is crazy to see. Although this is only one outlet, we see that more people are resonating with the type of rap that the clips makes. I think this beef will end here, as Travis really didn't give Push much reason in reply. I think the world knows that Pusha T is a better rapper, and most likely Travis already knows this. If I were him, I would stay on my lane and avoid going near the big dogs, unless you really want to permanently damage your career. Even if Travis were to be dissed the same way Push is Drake, he will still have a massive following and make more numbers than Push, just because the people that like him are not really fans of hip hop. They just roll with whoever is hot and don't care about who is the better rapper. However, for Push, this will make it even bigger than he's already getting. He's huge amongst hip-hop fans like us, but not to casual listeners. If he goes head-to-head with Travis and destroys him, this will catapult him into stardom. Anyways, the commercial performance of the clips is showing that rap is trending in a different direction. Rappers like Drake and Travis will always exist, as they are designed for the casual listener, which is the type of person that really doesn't find any influence in this art and just listens to it for fun. I feel that the 2024 Drake and Kendrick beef shed light to a part of rap that was blacking out. That real, authentic, and personal hip-hop started to revive after years of being overshadowed by the more commercial acts. If Push and Travis go at it, we're definitely going to see an outcome similar to what Drake did with Kendrick, and open the gates for the more casual listeners to discover this type of music. The beef is not 100% over yet, but we will most likely won't be hearing from each anytime soon. I would love to be proved wrong though, and if some shit breaks down, I'll be updating this video in the future. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I hope you soak some game. Comment down below who you are supporting, and catch you guys in the next video. 1.